YouTube, it is your boy D, and I'm back with another banger. We have a burst fade, mohawk type, frohawk type haircut today. We're gonna go through the basics. I'm gonna show you a couple different ways to do this cut. But first and foremost, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. With that being said, let's get straight into the work. So, we're going to create our first line of demarcation, which is using our Andes Masters cordless. From there, I will bald it out using my Babyless trimmers, and then I will come back and I will bald it out with my shavers. In doing so, this helps the light to dark, dark to light contrast. And so for me, details always matter, and I can't make this up. If you're just tuning in or you've been tuning in, you know that I can't stress it enough. Details matter. And so, with that being said, we're going to go into the haircut. We're going to create our first guideline, well, our second guideline, technically, which is basically creating that open blend with our clipper opened. And because of the burst fade type haircut, I have to go behind his ear a little bit. And so, in doing such, I'm going to go forward and debulk with my Andes Masters using an open technique first and then going down against the grain closed. This lays the hair down, and it helps create the fade that you're looking for, with a very detailed blend. And that's what your client wants. And most importantly, you want your haircut to look good. I cannot make that up. I cannot stress it enough. Those are the things that always matter. And so details do matter. So, with that being said, I'm going to go with my clipper open first, and then I will go with my clipper halfway, and then I will come back with my clipper closed. That creates the guidelines that I'm looking for, the balances that I'm looking for, everything that I'm looking for within a clean, quality haircut. Um, and and honestly, you want it to be the best. You want it to be, quality. That's what your client is paying for. Um, details matter. So, in doing such, we're gonna go back and we're gonna detail a little bit more using our Babyless. And I switch clippers sometimes because of the way they cut. Sometimes it might be a little loud, but sometimes one clipper just can do a little bit extra that the other one cannot. So it's good to have different types of clippers, for different things, different types of trimmers. So using our same guards, 1.5, we're going to continue to blend out. And I pay attention to how I tilt the blade and I turn the blade different ways. That helps in getting hairs that either grow a certain way or direct a certain way. And so that kind of helps me. So what we do to one side, we're going to do to the other. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But this time I'm going to use my JRL trimmers to do this haircut on this side or this style, because I'm going to show you a different way to go about it. If you create a ball line with your trimmers, if you create a ball line with your clippers, and sometimes it's a little bit harder, sometimes it's easier to take out. Same method, stick to the script. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Use the same blueprint. But in doing so, it helps you understand how to cut a certain way, whether it's top to bottom or bottom to top. In this case, we're cutting from the bottom to the top. We're fading from the bottom to the top. I can fade from the bottom down. I can fade from the bottom up. It's easy, just take skill set. In creating this burst fade, we're going to go with the grain, lay the hair down, one close, so that we make sure that we get all the hair laid down, so that when we start to fade up into it, it's very distinguished. It's very distinctive of where the fade line starts, where the blend is, where the light to dark, dark to light contrast is. Those are the things that we're looking for. And as you can see, I make sure I lay the hair down. Got the hair tied up and pulled back to where everything that I need is out of the way. And now we start to cut into it, fading into it, using my one open. And going into it, we're going to debulk and get all that darkness out, getting behind his ear to create that burst, because it's going to burst from that middle section up. And doing that, it helps create the style and the blend that you're looking for. And so you got to make sure right there at the top that you make sure you get all the hair out the best you can to where it's not dark heavyweight lines. As you can see, it's transitioning. That means the fade is just is coming into its finished look that we're going for, and that is the key part of what we're looking for. Your client is looking for a desired look because that's what they asked for, and your job is to deliver. And so we're going to go to halfway now. We're going to work through this blend. We're going to continue to blend it out. I'll switch my lever here and there depending on where I'm at if I see different things. As you see, I'm working behind that ear, so I'm fading into it. I'm going with the grain just to lay that hair down. Ultimately, it creates just the best blend that you can give it. And for me, it honestly is the best thing that I can say for myself, that looking at it, you can't deny the quality of haircut. A lot of people cut differently. How I learned to cut, I learned from different barbers in different ways, and I took what they taught and I put it into my own style and format and created my own blueprint script so that I can cut any style of hair, any ethnicity, without having to worry about missing any skill sets that I feel like you would need in doing such haircut. And so back to the haircut, as you can see, that's how I'm being able to create the burst fade that we're looking for. And it's in a form of a hot taper, but it's more of a burst because we're going all the way up into that parietal crown ridge side of his head. Now, using my babblers, I'm going to detail. And detailing this cut is going to be what makes it what it is, because the way his hair is very curly, it's very spongy, and so you're not going to see that haircut as much. And so the details in this cut of the blend are going to matter. So you can see as I'm tapping it, turning my blade and my clipper diagonal so that I can hit the hairs in different strokes, so that when you look at the haircut, you can tell that it was very detailed. Cross my T's, dot my I's. Those are things that I really pay attention to when I look at people's haircut, even cutting my own hair. And I have those tutorials of me cutting my own hair on my YouTube. You can check those out. The skill set is there. It took time though and repetition. I will not deny that, and a lot of people have to understand that some things take time. So continuing to detail, I've switched back to my one, and I'm just going up in those places where I feel like it's a little dark. Not with my whole blade, but maybe the tip of the blade, just angling it so that I get all the little heavy dark spots and they're well blended. I can't stress it enough that the details in the blend matter. The hairline is still the most important, but the blend, it doesn't come second to last. You know, it's easily comparable as just as important. That being said, just focus in on what you're doing. Pay attention to your details. Take your time cutting hair. That's what I do. I'm getting better with these tutorial haircuts, giving you guys more of a precise look and an understanding of what you're working with when you're working your way through your transitions of hair cutting on your clients. And every client is going to be different. Okay, so let's get into our hairline. Now, our hairline is very, very important. And I always tell you guys, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So how I do it is I start from my middle and I work my way left to right. And that's what we're going to do here, is go from our middle to our left, back to our middle to our right. And I go left because left was always my weak side. I struggled with that until I got better. And it's just pretty much practice and repetition, but understanding. Take your time, be patient, especially with this type of client, as he is a lighter, fair-skinned person. You have to be very, very precise and not heavy-handed so that you don't damage his skin. And so we're going to work our way from that middle to our left to our vertical bars in a motion of where we're just kind of checking off each checkpoint and working my way around, but working my way from my middle back to my left so that I keep the hairline straight. I didn't drop my hand. I didn't tilt my hand. You want it leveled, and that's the key to doing the hairline. So I've worked my way around. As I get to the end where the vertical bar is, I'm going to use the tip of the blade to more create that fine, precise line. And as you can see, it's coming together, but it takes just a certain amount of touch. And this is where certain skins, you have to have that touch. Cutting your own hair will help you in this field, because if you have that touch, you'll never fail. You'll never fail. You'll always continue to get better. You'll always continue to prosper. And those are things that you're gonna want to do within your career field, especially cutting hair, because there's so many people cutting hair, and that doesn't mean anybody's better than the next. But like I always tell people, because the abundance of people cutting hair, and a lot of people don't, necessarily care about you having a license or not. So it just makes it tougher. So you're gonna have to differentiate yourself and make sure that your skill set is up to par. Make sure you're different, you're set apart from the rest, because again, it's key. It's gonna make you a better person, all in all, and not just a better person, a better barber. And those are things that you're gonna want in your career. So as we're working our way from the middle to left, we're gonna work our way from left to right. As I've done the vertical bars, you'll get a better look at the vertical bars in this portion of this clip of the video. But as you see, I'm still keeping my hand leveled, following the script from my middle and working my way to my right. Everything underneath, when I hit the line, I come down with my trimmer, and I'm not pressing hard because I'm not damaging the skin. So as you work your way to your corner, to your vertical bar, you want to keep your trimmer level. You want to keep your trimmer on the same lining point that you had it from, and work your way to that point, to the vertical bar, so that you start with the point of the trimmer to work your vertical bar down, so that you have a long, crispy vertical bar. Especially with this type of skin, this is where the touch, again, is gonna matter. Paying attention to the details and always combing, because when you comb after every clip or after every stroke of the clipper or trimmer, you're getting the dead hairs out the way. So brush, comb, whatever you do, make sure you do that so you can see what you're working with, and just keep it leveled, keep it precise, and take your time. Pulling the skin, stretching the skin will also help. So I'll use my left hand to pull the skin while I line it up, so that I make sure that line is very, very detailed. And so you can see the blend, you can see the line. These are the things that I tell you guys that matter. So when you start to look at it, you can automatically tell it's a different type of haircut. It's a different type of style, and it takes a different type of skill set to achieve that, especially on this fair skinned person with the type of texture of hair as well. You have to understand what you're working with. Now, me being a longer tenure barber, having license in Texas and in Tennessee, my skill set's different. Doesn't mean that anybody is better or worse than me, and it doesn't mean that I'm better or worse than anybody else. It just means that I took my skill set to a different level. You can too, but it helps you in the long run cutting hair, because this is a business that's recession proof, and you can make all types of money doing it. Okay, so our time is coming short. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. Please give me feedback and let me know what you think. Using my level 3 astringent spray, but you're getting the finished look of this haircut. Both his burst fades on both sides, his hairline, and that's it. Pretty simple, pretty crispy. Not overdoing it, but delivering on what my client asked for. You guys get a detailed look, and you see the smile. Some about light-skinned dudes, I don't know why y'all just give off that glare. I don't know what y'all be having going on, but appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment. I appreciate the love, and as always, let's go.